Hello and welcome back to Circle and Faith. I'm your host, Christine Barella, and I'm just so delighted and honored that you're joining us today. And if you're a new listener or viewer, I just want to welcome you to a community of women whereby we believe in faith, resilience, and God's unfailing love. And if you're a returning viewer or listener, I just want to thank you for walking alongside of me and allowing me to walk alongside of you on our faith journey. And today I'm so excited. I have the most amazing guest, Teresa. So, Teresa, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm so glad you're with us today. And I'm just excited for you to share your story. There's so many little nuggets in all of our lives that we really can learn from each other. And I'm just grateful that you're with us today. And I know viewers and listeners, once you hear her story, you're going to just be so inspired with your faith journey. And so, Teresa, why don't we start off a little bit before we dive into your story? Tell us just a little bit about yourself. What do you want to share?
So I am a wife. My husband and I have been married for 44 years.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you. And we have two boys, and between them, we have three grandchildren who are just a joy for me. I am so enjoying being a grandma. I
Yes.
just, you don't know, and it kind of freaks you out at first. I'm going to be a grandmother. What the heck is that about? But now I'm all in, and I just enjoy them so much. And then Tim and I have a little corgi dog who also just cracks us up. It's like having a 2-year-old all the time. He's just a funny little guy, and gives us joy, and he enjoys his walks with me every morning. And so that's I've been sort of retired from a traditional job for about 3 years,
Mhm.
and I'm figuring that out.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I'm kind of with you. Retired for going on 2 years. So, and I know through that journey as well. We'll dive into that in your story because I know that we talked about like we have many things, and I know you have many things that you can share through your faith journey. But I think what we talked about and what you really wanted to share were really like the last 3 years of your life and really how God has been there for you and still with you through some difficult times of pain and loss. So why don't you start about 3 years ago? I know it had to do with your job and your mom, and kind of just start telling us a little bit about that story.
Okay. So in 2023 was a rough year for us. It started out okay. Mom turning 100 in February, and we threw her a big birthday party that just was people coming in and out, open house, and she was just so excited about it. And I should preface that with saying that my husband and I had moved in with her
Mm.
as she was needing more and more help. And we were in between deciding to continue to rent or buy. And since I'm an only child and we were here pretty much all the time anyway, we moved in with her, and it was great. It was really nice that to be with her and experience her um, for almost before she passed, almost 8 years.
Mm.
We were together, and then in the summer she started um, falling more, not being able to stand or walk, um, and 2 hospital visits. The second visit diagnosing her with what's called third-degree block, and
Um,
that's where your heart is on backup. If you do like a generator, um, or a battery in your car or whatever, like it has 4 cells, let's just say, and 3 of those have failed, and it's just on the one leftover
mm.
battery. And that's kind of how they explained to us what the third-degree block was.
Okay.
Um, so Tim and I had done everything we could, and we could not take care of her like we felt she should be taken care of, with
Mhm.
her not being able to be mobile, getting to the bathroom or bed or anywhere on her own. We were literally almost carrying her.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, I had been at my school job for 5 years at the position I was in, and some administrative changes had happened, and I was looking for another position somewhere else. and had interviewed in several places. The interviews went well, but I was not chosen as a candidate. And then in before my mom started failing so much in May, I was told in late April that I would not be coming back the next school year, that budget cuts and things like that had um, affected, obviously, the income of the school, the private school I worked at.
Mhm.
And since I was one of the folks that had been hired last, longevity held, and I get that. It was really hard. It was something I wasn't really expecting.
Mhm.
Um, and I never said anything to my mom about it. She would have just worried about it. And so, as awful as it was and as angry as I was about it, I was able to spend more time with my mother. And
Right.
I finally understood that right before she passed away, that I was meant to not have a job, that I
Right.
needed to be spending more time with her. And it
Right.
worked out well because it was summer and she knew that during the summer I was I would work at home sometimes and at the school sometimes.
Mm.
So I wasn't lying to her, I guess you could say. I just wasn't filling her in on the whole
Right, you just
thing.
got something and, I love that because I know it was really hard, you and I have talked before, it was really hard because you loved your boss, you did an exceptional job, and you loved what you were doing, and you just it was very devastating, because you're bringing so much value to the environment, and value to your life, you loved what you did, and then to not be hired, that can put a real shot to the ego, like, "What?"
Hmm. Yep.
And that's a whole 'nother level of feelings besides your mom being sick. So there was a bunch of stuff colliding.
Yep.
But what you look back now is God knew what he was doing. His ways were higher than your ways, knowing he wanted you to spend more time with your mom because he knew when her time was to be called home. So,
Correct.
yeah, so anything like if anybody's going through some stuff right now, like take a pause and just really kind of take in maybe is God protecting you for something or he knows what's happening in the future and just really have faith in him and what's going on right now in your life. So I love that.
Took a while for me to
Mhm.
to come to that realization, and uh, it was rough. And
Yeah.
um, but I did come to the realization early on that it was just kind of meant to be. My
Mhm.
mom, she was a crack up, and she was so smart, and she would always say to me, "If you can't do anything about it, just move on." And I couldn't. Everything was out of my control.
Yep.
So I just, not that it was perfect. I just moved forward as best I could, pretty
Mm.
much on autopilot.
Yep. Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's very good advice. And if you can't do anything about it, move on and don't worry about it. Let God be God and you just move on.
Exactly.
That's great
Exactly.
advice. I love that. I love
Yep.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
And so was she at home with you or did you
She was at home with us until the second diagnosis,
Mm,
and then we did put her in a private hospice,
mm,
a private home that did had only like 4 people there, so she could get better attention to what she needed. Um,
right,
mhm. So,
right,
because like I said, we couldn't. We're not. Neither one of us are trained healthcare professionals.
right.
So um, like I said, she couldn't even stand for 30 seconds.
Yeah,
So it was, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So she needed help. And so how long was she there in the hospice?
21 days.
Oh, wow. So only 3 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah,
hmm hmm The
yeah.
doctor told her the cure for third degree block is a pacemaker.
Mm,
And
mm,
she just said, at 100 and I'm not mobile anymore. I mean, she was playing cards up to the day before she passed away with a friend who would
wow.
go visit her. And so, and that's not another reason that made it hard, but she was coherent,
Mhm.
and um, she just couldn't stand or energy or level wasn't as high. And so she declined the pacemaker, and she said to the doctor, well, how long do I have? And he said, Sarah, it could be any day, any minute, any day, any hour. And he goes, I don't see you lasting more than 30 days. She
Mm.
asked, and I'm like, oh, man. And I don't like it when they put time frames on things.
Right. I'm with you.
So, but she asked, and she kept looking at me, and I said, you're coherent enough to understand what they're saying. So it needs to be your decision.
Mhm.
So, yeah, 21 days. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she was 100 and almost 6 months
Wow.
when she
Wow.
passed.
Right.
Yeah.
And you had 8 years with her
Yep.
every single day. And although that's truly a blessing, but also the void in your home when she left is real because it's her home. She was there with you every day. So it's not like you just went to visit once a month or
Correct.
so tell me a little bit about that, like, how you processed all of that with her.
Well, so we are in my childhood home,
Mm,
and we had, when we moved in with her, all of our house was in a storage facility.
mm,
And it took, I just kind of shut down, and it's okay. Like I
mhm,
said, everything was on autopilot. I don't know how I did the things I did with
mhm.
her, taking care of her um, estate, so to speak, and the funeral services and all that stuff, because I'm an only child. It was just me.
Right. Yeah, it was you.
Um,
Mhm,
so I didn't do much for almost a year,
mhm,
and her room stayed the way it was for almost a year.
mhm,
And then, I finally just started going through things little by little. And I just kept telling myself, give yourself grace. And I was reading things online about grief. I was reading things online about what to do with your stuff, and
mhm,
just trying to process all those things. And I would go in spurts. I would go into the room or go into our storage facility and just be there for an hour to 2 hours and just start with the simple stuff,
mm,
mainly paperwork.
mhm.
So, and I had a recycle box and I had a trash box, and I just kept going,
Yep,
and
one
I'm
step at a
still
time.
going.
No, that's okay. This is real, and I think, this is very important for people to hear because there's so much pressure to, "Well, she's in heaven, we'll move on," and we're
Yep,
believers, so it's all okay, but, it's okay. God does say it's okay to mourn, and we all process things differently
it
at
is.
different
Yep.
times.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and again, you were reading stuff and, trying to process all the things and work through her item. But then when did you decide you wanted to join community? Like you belong to a grief group right now, right? Tell me
Correct.
tell me
Correct.
about that.
The grief group came first, and I believe that's the way God directed me to go. For a while, I knew the group existed. And
Mhm.
this is at my church that I've gone to since I was in second grade. It has a school attached to it as well. I
Oh,
know, too funny.
I love that.
Yeah. So some of these people I know,
Mm,
and my mom knew. And so I knew the group existed, but I was hesitant for whatever reason. I don't know. I just didn't feel the time to go.
mm.
And then all of a sudden, I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything else right now.
God made a way. God
Right.
made a way.
Right. And so I said, okay, I'm just going to go check it out. And it was an amazing experience for me to hear other people going through their grief process.
Mhm.
And it was spread across the board to losing a spouse to losing a parent, and a sibling.
Mm.
So, and it wasn't, how do I say this? I didn't want to go to a group where it was heavy. I didn't want it to be any heavier than what I was already experiencing. And it wasn't. I mean, I was like, wow, that was pretty cool. All right. That the 2 hours went poof, just like that. And I came home feeling really good.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it helps to know that, there are other people there that you can talk to that understand what you're talking about. And the biggest thing that the leader told all of us was is that grief has no time limit,
Mhm. Right.
and everybody processes it differently. I am still grieving anytime I touch something of hers, or something that she's written a note on. My mom was a note person, and I just touch her writing and just tell her how I miss her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
well, it's a process, and
Yeah.
so I know when we talked before, you thought, well, I don't need the grief group because I can do this on my own, right? Isn't that what we always think? Like, and
Yeah.
true, like I have faith, God can get me through, and yes, God can get us through, but God also wants us to be in community. He's created us to be with other people to help us get through and do life together and wherever we're at. So I just want to pause for a minute, and because that's so powerful what you said.
Yep.
You didn't want to go and you went, but you found power in that, and you found, if you will, some relief in that.
Yes.
Just sharing with other people kind of the similar kind of feelings and working through all that. So, whether it's a grief group, whether it's a community of women or whatever, I strongly encourage women to get involved with a faith community somewhere along the line to do life together with other women, be
Abs-
optimal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because we're
Absolutely.
going to go through stuff always, right? And
Yep.
so it's nice when you have that. Or if you want to just join something, like the grief support group would be awesome. And there's all kinds of other groups. If a child has gone wayward, if a child is addicted, there's all kinds of support groups for all kinds of different things that goes on in our world. And so that's very powerful. Thank you for being authentic and sharing that.
You're
Um,
welcome. Thank
that
you.
you're like, I didn't want to go. I was fine. And still to this day, you're going. And that is amazing, that you still go and you find good purpose. And I'm sure that you going
Yes.
also, you're helping the other people that are in that group as well. It's kind of like everybody helping each other.
I would like to think so. The other thing that was kind of interesting when I first started going is that, um, three people there had also lost a parent
Mm.
all around the same time as I
Mm.
lost my mom, and I'm like, wow, okay, uh-huh.
That's God. That's God.
Yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm learning to listen to
Hmm.
his guidance.
Yes,
Yep.
yes. So also though, in this season of your life, you've been part of an organization that you didn't really focus 100% on, but you strongly believe in. That's the Shackley industry. They've been around for a long time. And so tell me a little bit about that because, one of the things I talk about is finding purpose over 50, that women like us, that we're in a different season of our life because we're grandparents now and maybe our career is over, but God is calling us to continue to serve and give back to others. And so
Okay.
tell us a little bit about your Shackley experience and where you're at right now with that.
So, my husband actually introduced me to Shackley before when we kind of first met,
Mhm.
and he had used the products as a bodybuilder, and then we both got into the bodybuilding community world, whatever you want to call it. And
Wow, I never knew that. I'm learning something new about you, Teresa. We gotta find some pictures. Bodybuilding, I love that.
we both looked really good when we got married.
I bet you did. I need to see some pictures. I need to see swimsuit pictures.
I was too shy to really do that. Although we were going to enter the Mr. and Miss Tucson competition, and I don't know what happened. We did it. We ended up not doing it, but uh, it was an interesting uh, path for me to learn about food and
Right.
environment, how it affects, how it affects you and things like that. And so my husband had been using the Shaklee protein, and he was getting more gains using the Shaklee protein than whatever else was on the market back in the day in the mid 70s. So I just started using the products and seeing a difference. And the philosophy of the company, Dr. Shackley actually did exist, and he was a chiropractor, medical, natural path, so to speak, in his day. And I just love the philosophy of products that go back to nature, products that come from nature. If a Shackley can't get a clean ingredient, they will not make the product.
Wow.
So to me, that's extremely important.
Mhm.
Um, I don't have to do any research on a product, and they don't jump on the new bandwagon of what's popular coming out. Things are totally researched, so I don't have to go to the vitamin aisle
Mhm.
and look at all these choices. I know what I'm taking has been thoroughly researched and quality. And I think that I look pretty good for my age, and I have the energy to keep up with grandchildren.
Mhm.
Um, it's a 70-year-old company, so it's not going to go anywhere. We're
Right.
privately owned again. Thank you, God. And
Mhm.
the new owner is with the same philosophy that Dr. Shackley was. He's carrying everything forward. So it's a science-based company. I just like so since 1979, I have been using these products, and
Mhm.
I use everything that I possibly can for my home and myself and my family. My
Right.
grandkids now use the gummies, and um, so, and I think, of course, mine are the smartest grandchildren on the planet. Of course,
Of course.
So,
Yep.
um, but um, my Shackley business is a lot of fun, and it has evolved with me. And
Mhm.
so now that I am looking for a purpose,
Mhm.
the Shackley business has never gone away. It's been up and down, and that's fine.
Right.
It's okay. And I don't need to make millions of dollars right now. I mean, it would be okay, but uh, right now, if I make enough to support our habit, to start with, that's okay, because I'm just renewed my Shakti business. So I need to give that grace and time as well.
Right.
And because of that, I have come out of my box and have been searching for groups
Mhm.
um, to join and interact with. And so I've found two Christian women's groups that I've been going to off and on, and meeting some incredible women. And I truly believe that God had a hand in sending me in that direction as well.
Yep.
So now my Shakti business, I'm calling it my encore business.
I love it. I love
And
it, love it, love it.
it gives me something to do, keeps me active, keeps me focused, keeps my brain
Mhm.
engaged in, and computer skills,
Mhm.
up to date and things like that, because it can you can get rusty with those kinds of things.
Oh, yes, you can get complacent
Yep,
and what I love is that you have a purpose and you said you got out of your box, so I'm sure that was a little scary, right,
it
to get
was.
outside your box, so but God has given you these groups, so once we get out of our box and we take those first steps of our purpose, God will unfold everything for us, but we have to take those steps.
Correct. I mean, I was guided to you
Mhm.
through a gal
Yep,
at one of the groups.
yep,
And it was like, wow, this is
yep.
pretty cool. Okay.
I think it was Stephanie, right? I love
West
Stephanie.
Stephanie. Yeah, I do.
She's
Yeah,
amazing.
she
Yes.
is. She's very sweet. Very
She's
sweet gal.
amazing. Yeah,
Mhm.
so, yeah, community. And now, your story, I just wanted to resonate with women that are watching that God is never finished with us, and we can go through hard times in life, but just to keep plugging through and don't beat ourselves up. If it takes us longer than we see everybody else, like just follow your path. It's
Correct.
your path. It's nobody else's. It's
Yep.
between you and God. And just stay focused on Him and take those steps every day, and He will open up the doors for you as He
Correct.
sees that you're ready. Right.
Correct. Yep.
Yes. As hard
Yes.
as it is, as hard as
Yep.
it was for you to go to that group, as hard as it was for you to get outside your box for Shackley, because I know that we all get comfortable, right? And then to
Yep.
go put ourselves out there, like us women too, sometimes we have a hard time and we compare. Oh, wait, they're so much more successful than me. Oh, wait, I can't talk like that. We do silly
Yep.
things like that, and God doesn't want us to do that. My
Yep.
gift isn't your gift. Your gift isn't my gift. Like we just have to know
Correct.
that, right?
That is correct. And I found myself doing that.
Mm.
And so I am learning how to not do those things. And I'm also learning that I can relax. I can go read a book if I want to. You know, I don't have to be on all the time either. So that's been different because I've worked since I was 17. So now I'm giving myself grace to that if my brain is saying, okay, I'm full, I'm not being productive, or I just want to do a day where I just do nothing. And that's okay.
Yep.
I'm learning to be okay with that.
And I love that because as women, we're always
Yep.
doing for others, no matter what. And it
Yep.
is. So thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
That it's hard for us to be still because then we think, oh, wait, I got to be doing something for it to be meaningful. No, we can just be still. I
Yep.
love that. Thank you for that reminder.
Yep. And
Right?
with this and with the stuff on that segueing that way, I still have stuff I'm sorting,
Mhm.
and some things I've already sorted and I'm going to be going through again. But there's a whole nother thing. You know, um, I wasn't ready to do everything.
Mhm.
And so I have company coming at the end of the month. If I don't get it all done, it's just going to go in the closet.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, no stress. Yep, I
I'm
love
not
that.
going to I'm not going to stress about it.
Nope.
And it's just so funny that, people, family, mostly family, and I have boys, and not I love my boys, but women tend to hold on to things more than men do. And I guess it's just a gene thing because I send them pictures, do you want this? And I told them, it's okay to say no. I don't want them to feel the pressure, even though I think it's of value, you know, they don't. And that's okay. I had to release that too.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So I mean this house was built in 1961. So I have my dad's things, I have my mom's things, I have my brother's things,
Mm.
and it's a lot. It's a lot to go through and a lot to prioritize. But
Yes.
it's either that or somebody's going to pull a roll off up here. and I would rather have the control to release that stuff myself.
Yeah, well, it's the process too. I didn't realize you had your father and your brother stuff, so that's a lot. But it's also, a process too to reminisce of fun times, and then also
Yep.
to cry. It's kind of that through that whole healing journey
Absolutely.
process. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
taking your time and giving yourself grace. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the big thing. That's what I tell people. I have a friend, my best friend's mother just passed, and she was like another mother to me too. And so that's been hard as well.
Yeah.
And I just keep reminding her when she starts beating herself up about not doing what she thinks she needs to do. And
Yeah. That's
and we need to stop and do that, give ourselves grace.
right. Exactly.
Mhm.
I love that. All right. Well, Teresa, as we wind up, is there any, last minute things that you want to share or any advice you want to give for the women that are watching that you think would be meaningful?
Well, it's never too late to start something.
Love it.
Um, no matter what it is, if it's a craft, if it's a business, if it's a writing a book, um, just um, keep yourself engaged. And then, like you said, give yourself grace that if you're not ready, then just, you know, you will be, and listen to the direction that God is giving you. It's subtle. And I have realized that in the last couple months. It's been subtle. And I'm like, huh,
Mm.
interesting. So and we're here to and I think we are here to enjoy life. And there and anger, I had anger for a little while as well. And uh, I'm just learning to release that anger and not be angry. And it has been so enlightening for me, and lifting my spirit to just enjoy and find something to enjoy no matter what it is.
Right. Yeah, wow. I wrote a bunch of that stuff down because that's all really good advice. I'm going to put that in the show notes. But what I really like, the couple things I want to point is subtle that God does talk to us. And I like the what you said that some days you just want to read a book. So God does want us to just be still because then when we're still, he can talk to us in different ways. When we're too busy in our minds, we can't
Mhm.
hear him through the noise. So I
Correct.
like that where God subtly speaks to us, but we want to give him the time. And then you're
Correct.
right, he does want to give us joy. Like John 10:10 is a staple for my circle in faith, which, the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But God said, come to give you life and life to the full. So he wants us to live life to the full with inner joy and peace. Not that we're not going to go through hard times. He promises
Correct.
we'll go through hard times. But that also, as much as we don't like it, it also, those hard times bring us closer to him. And that's his whole goal. He wants us to have
Correct.
deep relationship with him. So there's just so many amazing nuggets that you had in your story today, and I'm just so thankful that you took the time to share, Teresa. I know this is outside of your comfort zone too, because you said I'm going to do this today because I don't think about it anymore. I'm being nervous about it, and so again, you walked out of your comfort zone, and I just want to thank you
Well,
so
thank
very
you.
much for sharing your story. Just simply amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate you as well.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thank you so much. So, all right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining. And I do create an episode guide for every YouTube and podcast. So you can go deeper in your faith as you're listening to Teresa's story. And so you can find that in my bio and go to my website, and it's right there, a free download guide. Because I know that God wants each one of us to grow closer to Him. And that's the whole purpose of the Circle of Faith YouTube and podcast is really help you stop and pause and really learn from other women and know that God is calling you to go deeper and that He's got a purpose for your life and to never ever give up, just like Teresa has shared. It's never too late to start. I love that. I
Mhm.
love that. All
Yep.
right. Thank you again, Teresa,
Thank
and God
you.
bless you and all the ladies that are watching. Take
Thank
care.
you so much.